Hi, my name is Mr. Bharat. I have 10 years of SAP experience in ABAP, WebDypro ABAP, Workflow, and Adobe Forms. I have experience of conducting trainings to the 100 plus of batches. Uh, all includes corporate trainings, classroom trainings, and online trainings. Let us start with the WebDypro ABAP training course content. So this is the WebDypro ABAP course content, which is divided into several weeks. Now let us see. The duration of WebDypro ABAP training is 25 days or 25 hours. I mean, we do have a fast track and we have a regular track as well. The fast track, it depends on the candidate requirement. We will be able to complete within 10 days. If it is regular batch, 25 days, every daily 1 hour, 25 hours. So now let us see who should attend. Those who attend the WebDypro ABAP training should have a prior ABAP experience, so that people will be able to understand the WebDypro ABAP concept and the WebDypro ABAP. Within WebDypro ABAP, we will be doing the ABAP coding only. So those who are responsible for the development of programming model should attend this WebDypro ABAP training. And then the objective is basically to understand the WebDypro components and application. What is the WebDypro ABAP component architecture, and what can we do with WebDypro ABAP? Everything is covered in this course. And course goals is basically after attending this course, you will be able to understand the importance of ABAP WebDypro in SAP's UI strategy, and you will be in a position to design and develop the ABAP WebDypro based applications. Let us see. It has been divided in, as mentioned, it has been divided into several sections, several weeks. So we will start with the week 1. In the week 1, we have unit 1, a course overview or WebDypro introduction. So we will be covering the course overview, what is WebDypro ABAP and what are the other technologies apart from WebDypro ABAP to develop the web based applications in SAP environment, and how it has been evaluated, and what is the overview of WebDypro solution, introduction to WebDypro ABAP, what is the difference between WebDypro ABAP and WebDypro Java. MVC architecture is also covered in this unit. Object oriented ABAP, also some just refreshing the object oriented ABAP concepts. So WebDypro ABAP component architecture is the unit 2. So in the WebDypro ABAP component architecture, we will be covering what is the WebDypro component, what is the WebDypro component interface, what are the controllers, and what is the usage of them. So we can see here controllers. We will talk about each controller: component controller, interface controller, custom controller, view controller, and window controller. So we will be discussing about one by one in detail in the actual training. So data hierarchy trees and WebDypro context. So in the WebDypro, we have the context. What is the purpose of context? What are the context node properties? How do we create them? What are the properties of context, such as cardinality, lead selection, etc., etc., will be discussed in the course. User interface components. So we will be starting with the week 2. So user interface components, and we have a supply function, hook methods. What are the hook methods, interface methods? What is the difference between methods and interface methods? What are the events and event handlers, interface events? And these will be covered in the unit 4. And unit 5, designing view and UI elements, view layout design. How do we, I mean, in see if we are developing something, the designing is more important. The look and feel should be proper, and by seeing the customer, by seeing the application should satisfy. The satisfaction comes from the look and feel. So how do we achieve the look and feel of the WebDypro ABAP application? So we have set of properties to design the view layout. We have different types: flow layout, row layout, matrix layout, and grid layout. So, and coming to the UI elements, we should need UI elements to design the screen layout. I mean, like maybe button or label. Maybe we will be needing input fields, so text views, checkbox. These are the UI elements which will be covered in this course. And we have WebDypro code wizard. as like pattern button in the ABAP code, we have WebDypro code wizard, which we take help to get the code generated, belongs to WebDypro ABAP. So it is more useful to generate the code. I mean, instead of putting lot of efforts to write the WebDypro code, we have WebDypro code wizard, which will generate the code based on the some selections. Okay, now coming to the navigation between views, this is most important concept. I mean, like if we have a WebDypro application, we have two different screens. We have to, I mean, we may get a requirement where we have to navigate from one view to the another view. So this is what, to achieve the navigation between multiple views, or to navigate from one view to the another view, is covered in this particular unit, navigation between views. So to achieve the navigation between views, we have different plug types, outbound plugs and inbound plugs, and then we have to establish a navigation link. So we will be covering how to establish a navigation link, and how to create a outbound plug or inbound plug, how to establish a link between them. So, and how do we pass the data between views, also will be covered in this particular unit. Now after completion of the week 1 and week 2, we will be moving on to week 3. In the week 3, we have internationalization. So this is most important topic, because like internationalization is very much important. Like application will be developed in some language, and customer will be in different language. To support the customer specific language, we should have maintained the internationalization. So internationalization can be achieved using OTR text. OTR text is online text repository. We have the concept called OTR text concept, using which we will achieve the internationalization. So internationalization can be achieved using the translatable text in the UI, and you can even create the ABAP dictionary. I mean, in the ABAP dictionary, we create data elements, and data element will have field label. So the text defined in the field label will also be will be directly displayed in the WebDypro application. So if you are not satisfied with the text displayed from data element field label, then you can create your own custom text using OTR text in the WebDypro ABAP. And we also have the text elements in ABAP class. We can also take the help of ABAP class text elements. Then these are the concepts we have available in the WebDypro ABAP to achieve the internationalization. Now let us move on to the unit 9, message handling. Message handling is most important topic in WebDypro ABAP. See, whenever we do some validations, we should there will be set of messages coming, so we should handle them. How do we handle the messages in WebDypro ABAP? We have a set of methods which we take the help to achieve the message handling. I mean, we have we will be having multiple message types: success message, error message, warning message, information message. Or if the message is coming from the message class, or when we call the BAPI, BAPI will be throwing set of standard messages. So how do we handle those standard messages? So these and are I mean, in a particular WebDypro application, if you enter the value in particular input field, let's say material number, you entered some value which is wrong, but you have to validate whether the entered material number is correct or not to move further. So you will validate. So to display a message on particular input field, you will raise a attribute specific messages. So it will highlight where exactly the problem has come, or the value where you entered will be highlighted. So these are the different set of messages. And to display or to display all the messages in particular area, we have a message area UI element. So everything will be covered in this topic. And coming to the unit 8, value help. So value help, we have WebDypro ABAP specific. For a particular input field, if you want to have a F4 help available, you have these are the different types. How do you accommodate the F4 help on particular input field? ABAP dictionary search help, where I have automatic search help, or assigning dictionary search help directly in WebDypro ABAP. If I mean, I hope you know that you can assign the search help at data element level. Okay, and then if the search help is attached to the data element, and data element is with help of data element reference, if you create an attribute in WebDypro app, that F4 help will be automatically displayed in the WebDypro app as well. If you don't have search help assigned at the data element level and you want to take something different search help in the WebDypro app, you can assign them explicitly in the WebDypro app. That is what assigning direct dictionary search help directly in WebDypro app. And we have OVS input help, okay, object value selector. I mean, we will go for object value selector only when the standard search help is not satisfying the customer requirement. And we also have the freely programmed value help. We can, if we don't want to have the search help available on particular input field, you can deactivate the search help. And this is what covered in the unit 8. Now coming to the unit 9, mandatory checks. Now this is more important. I mean, if we develop a report program in ABAP, either a classical report or interactive report, we do have selection screen displayed. In the selection screen we have list of parameters where we must enter the data. To make sure that the data has been entered or not, we will make it as obligatory in the ABAP. The same way we have a concept here called a mandatory check. So we have a property which needs to be set for all the UI elements so that it will perform the mandatory check. So it will be covered in this unit 9. And unit 10 we have controlling the visibility of UI elements. Like ABAP, in ABAP we have a screen structure. We write the code in at selection screen to control the visibility before displaying the actual output. The same way we can have visible property, enable property, and read only property to control the visibility, or to make it readable or to make it interactive. So or to disable or to enable, we have set of properties which we take the help to control the these UI elements properties. And this is covered in unit 10. And we have unit 11 also, working with the dialog boxes. Dialog boxes displayed as a pop-up. You can display the window of same component as a pop-up. You can display the window of another component as a pop-up, or you can display the confirmation pop-up. So we have a different set of pop-ups. So these topics will be covered in the unit 11, working with dialog boxes. And now coming to the unit 12, SAP list viewer, ABAP list viewer, we also call it as in WebDypro ABAP. How to display the ALV table in WebDypro ABAP. So, and I mean, we have different type of tables. We have a normal table and we have a ALV table. You must be knowing what is the difference between a normal table and ALV table. Like ALV table has a set of standard properties already delivered by SAP. We have sort functionality, we have filter functionality, we have settings. All these are provided within standard SAP. So here, to achieve the WebDypro ABAP ALV table in WebDypro ABAP, we will have to take the help of standard WebDypro component, which will be covered in this particular introduction session. Okay, now coming to the week 4, unit 13. I mean, advanced programming techniques. So advanced programming techniques is we have how to use the component reusability, and how to use the interface context or interface method, and we will be covering the debugging techniques as well. Pop-up windows, which is already covered, and we will more discuss about the pop-up windows in this unit, and how to use the exit plug, etc., will be covered in the unit 13. Now unit 14, specialized techniques, which is called like working with assistance class. What is the purpose of assistance class, how to create a service calls, what is customizing and personalization. And we have Adobe Forms integration with WebDypro ABAP. We will be looking at how to integrate Adobe Forms with WebDypro ABAP. When we talk about Adobe Forms, and Adobe Forms are interactive, so Adobe Forms can be made interactive only if you integrate with the WebDypro ABAP. Okay, and now we have web workflow integration with WebDypro ABAP. Will also be covered in this unit. Portal integration overview. We will be discussing about how to display the application in portal, and we also looking at enhancement framework and programming considerations and performance. Now if you look at these programming interfaces, these are some of the interfaces which we will take the help to achieve some functionality in the WebDypro app level. Okay, and portal integration, during portal integration, these are the if underscore wd underscore portal underscore integration interface. There are some methods which we will take to achieve the portal integration. Okay, and this is what the WebDypro app training course content. So now let us move on to one example which we will see to create the ALV table in WebDypro app. Now let us log into the SAP system. So the basic requirement to develop the WebDypro app application is ECC 6 with enhancement pack 4. If you have ECC 6 with enhancement pack 4, there are a good number of facilities available to develop the WebDypro app application. Now let us see the example displaying ALV table in WebDypro app. To develop the WebDypro app components, we have to log into SCAT transaction. So now let us move on to SCAT transaction code. So this is what SCAT transaction code. We can see here the drop down. Select the WebDypro component or interface from the drop down. So now let us select the WebDypro component or interface from the drop down. Now here enter some component name. Okay, now I entered YWDC underscore BK underscore training. Just press enter. Yes, it is asking whether you have to create a new object. Yes, just say yes. And description, and you have WebDypro component and WebDypro component interface. WebDypro component interface is faceless component. Okay, for WebDypro component, as you have seen in the course content, you have set of controllers created. So we will be discussing more about controllers and the architecture in regular training. W underscore main, okay, and then V underscore main. So we have to follow the W underscore main for window, and these are the naming conventions. Now let us see. Alright, we have to assign the package. I'm just entering some package name, save, and okay, and click OK, and we have to assign the transport request. Right. Now as soon as the WebDypro component is created, you have to activate the WebDypro component. This is the best practice to activate the WebDypro component as and when created. Right, now let us move on to the views. So this is the view layout where we design the screen. Okay, now to achieve the ALV integration, we have to create the component reuse. Okay, we are creating the component reuse ALV. We have to mention the component usage name, and then here SALV underscore WD underscore table. This is the component. This is the standard WebDypro component. We will take the help of the standard component to achieve the ALV table design in WebDypro app. Okay, just press enter. Okay, just click on save. Okay, go to component controller, and here also go to properties tab. Click on create controller usage. Create controller usage, select this interface controller, double click, and it will be displayed here. And now coming on to the view, just say yes, save, and coming to the properties tab here also create the controller usage for ALV component. This is required because if you want to access something from the standard WebDypro component, you must have a controller usage created in all the controllers. I mean, like we will be mostly working with the component controller and view. Component controller is the global controller. So to interact with the model, we will take the help of component controller. So which will be covered in the model view controller architecture, MVC architecture. So view is here, basically view is used to design the layout. So if we go to layout tab, here we will be designing the screen. So here you can see a list of UI elements, caption, explanation, formatted text edit, and etc. Input field also, or you can create it from here as well. So now we will see how to design the screen layout. We have created the controller usage for ALV component. First we have to create the context. Data is stored in the context at WebDypro ABAP level. Now let us create the context. Right click on context, node name, enter some node name. Okay, enter some dictionary structure Mara and select the cardinality as 0 to n. And click on add attributes from structure. Select the required parameters here. Click OK, and here the context is created. Once the context is created, if you create the context in component controller, it is global context. Now in order to make use of the context created in component controller in view controller, you have to go to view controller, and here also you have the context tab. If you create a context in a view controller level, it is local context. Now just drag and drop. This is what the internal context mapping. Just drag and drop. Select the Mara underscore table context from component controller. Right side you can see component controller context, and just drag and drop to the view controller level. Now you can see here. Now go to layout. Here create the view container. View container UI elements. You can select it from the drop down. You will have a list of UI elements displayed here. Select the view container UI element from here and then click OK.